There is no questioning that Darren Sproles will go down in history as one of the most loved running backs of all time. At just 5'6", the little engine that could has razzled and dazzled his way to 3 Pro Bowls by becoming one of the most effective dual threat running backs of all time. But an elusive second Super Bowl ring was even harder to come by when Sproles tore his ACL and broke his arm in the same game against the New York Giants in Week 3 of 2017. The veteran is now back with a vengeance in 2018, trying to run his way to that second Super Bowl ring, but the question is, can he get it done, and how much will the Eagles offense change because of his return? The answer may be a little bit more surprising than you think. My name is Liam Jenkins and this is another episode of Eagles Film Room. Before we get into the video, I did just want to say a massive thank you to all of the subscribers. We're nearly at 2,000 now, which blows my mind, and a quick apology as well. I'm sorry there's not as much content as I'd like to see on this channel, but running the website and running a second job as well, it's quite difficult to do this consistently. So if you would like to see more uploads and help the growth of this channel and our website phillysportsnetwork.com, there is a Patreon page in the description. You don't have to donate at all. If you would like to, the option's there, and if you wouldn't like to, hitting that subscribe button or the thumbs up really does mean a lot. And if we can get to a position where we can upload these videos regularly, by meaning daily or weekly uploads, then that is a dream come true for us. It's your channel as much as ours, so let's help build it together. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is this chart, which takes a look at all of the snaps through the opening 3 weeks of the season for running backs. Bizarrely, despite missing most of Week 3, Sproles still played in the most snaps of any running back, and after his injury, Smallwood spiked because he took up the load. Blunt was mysteriously benched in Week 2, and Clement barely touched the ball except for a few late touches. Now, as we all know, his role dramatically changed as the season went on, as he went on to catch one of the most remarkable passes in the Super Bowl, which went in for a fantastic touchdown. But it does raise the question, what would have happened if Sproles didn't get injured? He was a focal point of that offense and was actually having a very strong opening statement of the season, despite a slight wobble against the Washington Redskins. Now obviously after the injury, the Eagles went and picked up Jay Ajayi not long after, and the three-headed monster was born, something Peterson had been dying to do since he'd first arrived in the city of brotherly love. All of a sudden you had Ajayi, you had LeGarrette Blount, and Clement was filling in for that Darren Sproles-like role. But with Sproles now back in the backfield, what's going to happen to this offense? Will Sproles be a feature back, or will he just simply be a rotational piece? Let's see if these opening games shed a light on any of that. Against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 2, Sproles actually had a relatively impressive game, and on this short pitch it's safe to say he hasn't lost any speed or any kind of burst or anything that makes Sproles so lethal. You watch it from this view and look at the way he cuts through that gap so decisively. He picks up the ball and within a matter of seconds it's 0 to 100, and linebackers struggle to keep up with the pace of the little engine that could. Sproles has been lethal throughout his career on catching screen passes and turning nothings into somethings, and that was clear as day during these opening 3 games of the season. Now the reason I'm looking at these games and not 2016 is because the backfield was so drastically different back then, with Ryan Matthews and Wendell Smallwood, a rotation that never seemed to stop moving around. It's hard to really get a gauge on how Sproles would have been used. But in this situation, Sproles seemed to be the lead back, and that's what causes a few question marks for the Philadelphia Eagles, knowing that now Jay Ajayi has his authority over this backfield. Against the Redskins here, we can see Sproles still come out as a check down option for Wentz and pick up a strong first down, and that's always been one of his key elements in this game. Even against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he picks up a thunderous first down and plenty more here back in 2016, Sproles has always been dangerous by being that dual threat back, by being someone that can sting you in the pass and motion outside, but when people begin to key down on that, it makes it a little more difficult. We saw this frequently in 2016 when Sproles went down, but moving forward this may actually help him. With Corey Clement and Jay Ajayi there to take the weight off in the way that Jernigan did to Fletcher Cox last season, we may see a more explosive Darren Sproles than we ever have before, because now Peterson can do the one thing which he never has in this offense in the regular season, and that's split the backfield. If you've got Clement one side and Sproles the other, or Sproles in the slot and Ajayi as the lead back, where do you attack? Where do you even think of defending? Because forget the wide receivers, forget the tight ends, which are problems of their own. You've now got multi-dimensional running backs at every spot on that field that is going to cause havoc for defenses to key in on. And with that in mind, plays like this incredible touchdown against the Steelers in 2016 could be all the more frequent, because defenders can't key in on Darren Sproles. They can't try and eliminate him or smother the screen game, because if they do so, you're going to open up a wide hole on the other side where someone as burstful as Jay Ajayi could run absolutely rampant. And that is something we would be needing to see from the Eagles in 2018 if this backfield is going to incorporate Sproles. Now, I don't think Sproles will take the weight on as the lead back. I think the tread on the tyres have certainly fallen off just a little bit, and giving it to Jay Ajayi in his contract year works best for business, it works best for the team, and it will certainly give them the most production through the trenches. But that's not to say Sproles won't be effective. Just look at this play against the New York Giants and how Sproles is able to shift outside, that one cut, missing a block, and the burst he has to the outside. You talk about a change of pace back. They tried to get it last year, and Smallwood just simply didn't live up to the hype. I think at this point, giving that role to Darren Sproles, who's got that elusiveness, who has that shifty ability and that zippiness to get outside, is going to benefit the team far more. And we'll end that point with this play against the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at the strong side and how they're keyed in on Darren Sproles. He runs the opposite way, he gets swallowed behind the line of scrimmage. You wouldn't see that next season because there are so many more backs. If that happens once, you've got Jay Ajayi, you've got someone like Corey Clement or even Donnell Pumphrey to completely take that weight off and let Sproles do what he does best without wearing him down, without opening him to injury. And what we're going to see is a much more complete offense and a much more dangerous Darren Sproles. In fact, this backfield is more loaded and more lethal than ever, so don't be surprised to see one more flag to the wind, going all out to the wall season from Darren Sproles. If you've liked this video, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you again soon for another episode of Eagles Film Room.